What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and I am actually back from 4 or 5 solid days at Dragon Con, which is a big TV, movie, fantasy convention they hold here in downtown Atlanta every year. It was a lot of fun. It was a crazy event, but I was exhausted and slept a lot of today away, but I was able to pick up $1,000 in halves from my local Fifth Third on a break on Friday, and they've been sitting here waiting for me to hunt. I've actually opened both boxes as usual, and this one had a lot of 2022 enders. So we're going to start with this box, and hopefully we find some good stuff. With that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So if this is the first time you're joining one of my coin roll hunts, I do have a description. I do have a document in the description down below that has a checklist of all the coins that we look for, no matter the denomination of coin that we're hunting. With $50, there's just a handful of errors that I spend my time looking for. Those are listed in there, and we definitely are looking for silver. And those, if you're unfamiliar which years are silver for $50, they are 40% silver is 1965 to 1970. 1970 being a NIFC, not intended for circulation. And 1964 and earlier is all going to be our 90% silver. You'll see here this 2022 Philadelphia super low mintage. They weren't supposed to be released into circulation, but the Fed dumped tons and tons and tons of these. So a lot of coin roll hunters don't really consider them NIFCs. I think Red Book, at least the 2023 version, does say they are NIFCs. Somebody was telling me that the 2024 book takes that NIFC distinction away. But they are super low mintage, and I do know that some people hang on to them. I am not one of those people. So for me, they're just another $50. What I'm doing right now is just edge hunting, trying to find some silver for you on camera. We'll go through a few more rolls, and if we don't find anything, then I will go off camera and hunt these rolls and bring you guys in as soon as we find something. And this roll, you can see our 2022s are going to be these super duper shiny guys. There's another 22 Philly. I know it's upside down, but super bright, super wide edge, really easy to see. Just a gray edge 71. That was a little ping test to make sure it wasn't our 1971D minted on a silver planchet, which is also an error that we look for. So that's going to be more 2022s in there. And let's do 5 more rolls here real quick on camera. So let's see here. 21, there's a 2021 Philadelphia. I think it shares the same distinction as the 22, and that the Fed released thousands of those into circulation. So a lot of people do not consider them keepers or NIFCs. All right, nothing special there. Getting into roll number 7. Lots of super shiny 2021s or 2022s in there. Looks like 22, 22. Here is roll number 8. Tons of 22s in here. Just look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those might be regular NIFCs. Let's check those couple in the back. 22. It's a nice 71. We'll check that for a double die obverse as we go through these. And I do go back through these rolls that I'm laying out in front of you, and I check them all for errors. And as I said, there are a ton of varieties out there. There's only a handful that PCGS recognizes, and those are the main ones that I hunt for. And they are in the description, or the document in the description down below. And this has no silver and a bunch of more 22s. All right, well, I'll go through these. I'll bring you in as soon as we find something interesting. Well, I'm still getting through those first 10 rolls. I laid them out 1 through 10, but I'm actually just sorting back through them backwards. So this is actually roll 9. And I had stopped checking the edges because we had so many 21s and 22s, but we did come across A clad 2000S San Francisco proof. You can tell from the mirror finish, the frosted details, that we have a proof here. And just from the edge, you can see that big copper line, so we know it's clad rather than silver. But a pretty cool find. I keep all of my proofs that I find coin roll hunting, unless they're really, really bad. And this one at least still has a little bit of a mirror finish. So we're going to hang on to this one and keep on hunting. So we're getting into roll 27, and I think we've got ourselves another proof. You can see just how wide that edge is and how bright and orange it is. Let's pull that out and take a look. Oh yeah, we've got a 1991 San Francisco clad proof to go with our 2000 up here. Really only our second find on the box. I have been hunting for all the other things we typically look for, but so far that has been about it. All right, we are down to our last 5 rolls, and before we get through those, I did want to point out I did find one 2004 Denver along the way. Not terribly exciting, especially after a couple of proofs. And I realized at the beginning, I think I said NIFC and said it meant for not intended for circulation, but didn't really talk about the years that the NIFC crosses, which is 1970, 1987, and 2002 to 2020. Those are the years that are typically your NIFC years, and again, that just means that the mint made them for collectors and did not intend to introduce them into circulation. As you can see here in these last 5 rolls, though, it's still just looking like a whole lot of clad. We did probably have about 5 full rolls of 2022 Philadelphias and a handful of 2021 Philadelphias. Nothing terribly exciting there. So this is roll number 50, last roll of the box. And there's another 2022 right there. And I'll show it to you in just a second. Actually, we got a couple of them. We got 3 of them in there. Just to show you. There it is again, that 2022 Philadelphia. And one last thing I did want to show you, and I'll take these out. I had a viewer ask me how I re-roll or any tips on re-rolling, and I just wanted to show you guys. I learned this from watching Enigma Coin Collector, who actually now returns all his coins in bags. But I saw him do this on his live streams. But typically, I will go back and go through this roll. But you you hold the wrapper, you turn these upside down, and it takes a little bit of practice, but you can actually dump that entire roll back into it in one quick go. And that's how I've been doing it for quite a long time. And what I do now is I actually search roll at a time. So I know I've got 20 coins. I don't have to rewrap them and so on and so forth. But this is how I can get them back in wraps really, really quickly. So with that, I'm going to go off camera. I'll hunt these. And if we don't find anything else, we'll do just a real quick wrap up of our 3 finds and then get into box number 2. Well, we didn't find anything in those last 5 rolls, but if you did happen to fast forward to the midpoint, we did come across a 1991 S clad proof, a 2000 S San Francisco clad proof, and a single 2004 Denver NIFC. So not a great haul in this box, but a couple of coins. The 2004 will go back to the bank, but I will hang on to these 2 proofs, and I realize there's not a ton of value there just due to the condition, but I just can't stand that someone pulled these out of some collector, I don't even know what you call those, collector plastics, and spent them. So I'll hang on to them, and that'll go back, and we're going to go ahead and jump into box number 2. Okay, well, here we are with box number 2, and like box number 1, already opened. I did check for enders. Didn't see a lot of like 2022s or anything. There were a couple of shiny enders, so we might have a couple of NIFCs or maybe even some 2021s on the ends, but nothing jumped out at me like it did in box number 1. And I'll go ahead and get through 5 rolls here on camera, just so you guys can see how the coins are looking. And see if we happen upon like an NIFC dump or something like that early in the box. So here's roll number 2. 91. Roll number 3. Couple of thick edges here. That's just a really nice 1982. Is that a no FG? Okay, well, if that's not a no FG, I don't think I've ever seen one before. Let me get you down off of here. Uh-oh. Hang on here. I gotta go this way with you. I'll cut all that out. Don't worry about it. But sorry about that. This guy right here, if we can get this to focus, we've got ourselves a 1982 Philly in fantastic shape. And if you look there, well, maybe with the camera, I'm not seeing an FG here. Under the scope, I don't see any bit of the F or the G. Under here, I see a little bit of raised metal. Let me look at this in a little bit different light and see what I have here. But if this is truly a 1982 Philly no Philly no FG, it's actually not in bad shape. We got a little bit of ring of death on this, but could actually be a pretty valuable coin. So give me a moment to look into this further. So I'm going to take you over to the computer in a minute, but I was able to get my camera to focus on this a little bit better. This 1982, I believe, is a no FG, but you can see we do have some slight, I want to say that's ring of death on here. Overall, though, it's got a beautiful kind of mint finish sheen on it. I think it's actually a beautiful coin. We've actually got a little bit over here on the backside as well that looks like that little bit of ring of death here. That may really hurt the grading of the coin should you try to get it graded. But I believe this is a no FG. I mean, I'm going to get in here real tight. There's like a little line right there, but that's not typically where the F and the G is. Let me see if I can just get it this way. That is about as clean as it gets for a no FG. So PCGS, and like I said, I'll take you over to the computer and we'll look at it just to compare this to what's on their website for the no FG. This would, in a high AU or a low mint state, this would be like a $28 to like a $35 coin, give or take, which is pretty cool. I think trying to sell it raw on eBay, probably not get more than a couple of bucks more, maybe 5 or 10 or 12 or something like that, but still a pretty cool find. Well, we're over here on the computer, and you can see I've already pulled up PCGS, and I've drilled into the 1982 Philadelphia no FG FS901. And just to show you guys what this thing looks like here in their version of it, you can see we kind of have all this striation in the coin, and that's, I think, going to become important here in just a second. It almost looks like rifling, like you'd see on a bullet. But that's what that no FG looks like here. And granted, this is an MS67. Again, you can see all this kind of striation in the coin. So that is theirs. I did want to show you mine again real quick here under the scope. Very, very similar. Let me see if I can get a little bit more kind of sideways light on it. I mean, part of me wants to see a little bit of a ghosted FG, but part of me says it's not there. I mean, I'm kind of tilting the coin here because you'd figure the light would pick up on any raised metal, and it's just not there. So, I mean, I tend to believe this is a no FG. If you see it there, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. But again, the other key thing I want to point out is if you look at all of the striation on the coin, again, it almost looks like rifling on a bullet. I really think this gets us into that. It's the 82 no FG. Let me know in the comments down below if you disagree. I'd love to hear from you, but I mean, like right here, I just kind of want to say there's, I don't know how you describe it, but where that G maybe was supposed to be, but there's no raised metal. And when I look on theirs, I kind of see the same thing in there that, I don't know, maybe my eyes are just playing tricks. But either way, I think the last thing I want to show you while we're here is if we come down here into the grades, and I mentioned this in the earlier clip, but I think this coin minus the ring of death that's on there easily could have been kind of a high AU to low MS coin, which graded kind of puts it in that $24 to maybe $36 range. Without the ring of death, that makes it a pretty nice find in a box of $50. Keep in mind, this is the book grade, if you will, assuming it was graded. And if you've never graded a coin before, about the minimum you're going to pay between shipping, grading fees, all that kind of good stuff, you're easily $28 to about $45 into a coin because of the variety attributions and the shipping costs. So this would be a break-even coin if you sent it in and only was able to get about $36 for it. We'll look real quick and see if we can maybe find raw, if this coin would be any better. 1982p, no FG. So you can see here, and granted these aren't sold listings, but MS65, people are asking for $45, buy it now. Here's somebody with one raw and great uncirculated condition, 1222 plus best offer. Let's look at actual sold listings. Here's somebody that sold 3 of them and only got $15 plus shipping. So, honestly, if you got $15 plus $1, you're doing really, really well on a coin like this. As I said, I might try to sell it for $10 if I were to sell it and see what I could get. I'm not sure I would be able to find a buyer knowing we got that little bit of ring of death, but who knows? Maybe I could. Anyway, I just wanted to point this out to you. Again, PCGS, if you're unaware, they have a price guide in here, and you can go in for any U.S. currency, find what you're looking for, and see what that price would look like. So for fun, we'll dig into Franklin half dollars just to show you how it works. Let's say you had a nice 1949D. You can drill into that. You can find your mintages. You can see examples of a 1967 full bell lines, and you can get what that coin goes for at each grade. So if you're unfamiliar, PCGS, price guide, it's wonderful, but it is book price. It's not what you're going to get selling raw on eBay. Okay, well, let's get back in here and do rolls number 4 and 5 on camera. As you can see, you just never know when you're going to get lucky and get a hit inside of a roll, whether it be silver or an error. And that's also why we look for errors, because if that is as nice a coin as I think it is, even if I were only able to get 10 or 12 bucks for it, that's still better than a $50. Right? That's better than just face value out of that coin. All right, well, there's no silver there in the first 5. I'm going to go back through these looking for even more errors, and I'll get into the rest of that box and bring you in as soon as we find something to talk about. So we're getting through rolls 41 through 45. I'm actually on roll 42 here, and I came across this guy who just looked really, really strange. And I'm going to put this out to the community because I'm not exactly sure what we have here. This looks like it could be like a grease-filled die. It could be a pocket coin, and a pocket coin is usually from just a coin somebody carried around and just sort of rubbed their finger in circles for years and years, maybe while it was in their pocket. It does look like it's a 72D maybe. But this thing is lacking pretty much all detail. So I would love to know from the community if you know more about this coin than I do. Would love to hear it. The reverse, if you are curious, we are still missing tons of detail on the reverse as well. Looks like perhaps quite a bit of grease in the die on the backside as well. Obviously, we do have some wear and tear, so not a mint state coin by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm going to hang on to this, see if anybody in the community knows more about it than I do. Maybe I have something special here and just don't know it. But let me know in the comments down below. All right, well, I figured I would bring you guys in here for the last 5 rolls, since it's been a little bit of a silver dry spell. We did have our error, which was pretty cool. I wish it didn't have that little bit of ring of death on it. These are kind of some ugly coins. Let's see here. This is roll number 47. Still nothing. These look like they were maybe underwater or something really strange. All right, here's roll number 48. And we've got one kind of wide rim back here, just a 73. Here's roll number 49, and we'll have one left. A couple of shiny edges here. We'll check real quick. Got a 91, 89, and a 79, so nothing there. And last but not least, roll number 50. We got a shiny edge in there. Oops. And it doesn't look like any silver. Bicentennial. Bit of a shiny guy right there. We got a 96. So no silver in the box. Last 5 rolls. I'll get through these and we'll do a real quick wrap up. So we are done rewrapping everything except that last roll because we did have 5 finds in this box, and we're actually going to start with these that are less important. We had a really busted 2006 Philly NIFC, an okay looking 2012 Philly, and a pretty busted 2018 Denver. All clad, so nothing special there. Those will all go back to the bank because I'm done filling up books and I don't need them anymore. However, we did have 2 pretty interesting finds, and I did do a little bit of research on eBay just because that's not always the best source of information, but just to see what other people were selling, to see if I could find something similar. This is most likely, if eBay is to be trusted, a struck through grease error. Pretty severe on both sides. I did see coins kind of similar to this, and I'll put a comp up on the screen, but these were going for as little as $2 or $3 to as high as like $10 and $15 and $18 that weren't quite as severe as this, but there was at least one that was close. So for all I know, this is a $15 error, maybe more. So if you know a lot more about this coin, please do let me know in the comments down below. Our 1982 Philadelphia was also a pretty cool find. Unfortunately, we do have this little bit of Ring of Death, which I didn't explain earlier, but it's from the rolling machine, from these being re-rolled into new wraps after going through circulation. But I am almost positive that we are looking at a no FG. Again, if you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. I would value this coin somewhere between $10 and maybe $18 today if I were to try to sell it. So not bad for 2 50-cent pieces. I'll be really, really honest with you. Unfortunately, we didn't find any silver in the boxes this week, but for you new coin roll hunters, understand that not finding silver is way, way, way more common than actually finding silver. So in recent weeks, I've been called a faker a lot. On my shorts, I'm getting called a faker. People think that all tellers search every $50 roll that's turned in. And let me tell you, folks, they do not. Silver makes its way back into circulation every single day, and what you see me find in these boxes is legitimately what I find. So I know my loyal followers, you guys that have been following me for 3 years and watch all my videos, you know that. But if this is your first time and you think this guy is getting crazy lucky, or there's no way he's finding all this stuff, I actually am. I have no reason to cheat on these videos, quite frankly. So with that said, I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We did have a couple of cool finds. No silver. Let me think. What else? No crazy silver proofs or any foreigns or anything like that. But anytime we find some errors, it makes hunting for errors and varieties all worth it. So with that said, if you did like this video, drop on down below, click that like button, and leave me a comment, especially if you know more about some of these errors than I do. If you're new to the channel and you like coin roll hunts, make sure you do. You also drop down there, but make sure you take a stop and click on that subscribe button, and then click that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I release a new video. Special shout out to my channel members. Appreciate you guys for supporting me every month. Really, really, really appreciate it. I need to do an official comment video because my 8,000 subscriber celebration giveaway live stream needs to get scheduled because we're only about 20 or 25 subs away from hitting that goal. So stay tuned this week for some more information on that. So with that said, you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.